Chet, each of these three series have kind of tested you, challenged you in different ways, mentally and physically. Big picture, though, what do you feel like you guys have gotten the most out of the 16 games you played?
I feel like every single game gave us a different challenge, a different look, different things to learn from, and I feel like we did a good job as we saw new things as series and games evolved. We did a good job adjusting and continue to kind of play to our stuff.
You guys have had to flex this muscle of having a week between series and not knowing who your opponent is, all that. How much, I guess, better do you feel like you guys are now at handling these types of situations than maybe, in past times where you've had this?
Yeah, just like any other experience that we've had to go through, I feel like we've learned from them and figured out how we can be better for the next time we see that challenge. And this is just another part of the playoffs, another thing that you have to kind of maximize and make the most of, and that's what we're trying to do.
Chet, Dub, after the game the other night, was just saying that he felt Game 7 against Denver was sort of you guys getting over the hump as a team. What have you since changed in terms of confidence or anything since that game? Like, what did that game, that series, do for this group?
I don't know. I feel like in the Denver series, we definitely got better and learned from those things. I also feel like every series is so different. You can't kind of compare one series to the next in that way. Like if you switched up the order, I think series would look pretty similar because it comes down to who you're playing. But we definitely learned from that, and I feel like coming out of that, we're definitely a better team, and we just have to continue to do that going forward.
Chet, when you self-evaluate your performance in the playoffs, what have you liked to see most out of yourself?
I wouldn't say I'm at that kind of point of reflection. I'm still kind of looking where I can be better, how I can be better, because we still have games coming up. So, my mindset is more so on what the team needs me to be and become for us to be the best selves that we can be.
Well, can I ask you then, what are some things that you still hope to build on?
Just continuing to read and react to what defenses are giving me in real time, understanding that different teams have different philosophies and want to guard you different ways, guard us as a team different ways, so just kind of being able to read that in real time and not have to wait until after the game to watch the film and be better for next game. But every game is super important, so just trying to be better and be quicker in those situations so that we can maximize each game.
There's obviously the X's and O's side of what you're doing, but there's also sort of the emotion and the mental. And when it comes to resiliency, you've obviously got some bullets in that gun from very recently. Do you allow yourself to sort of draw from that? The fact that 4 months ago you were basically, I don't know, I can't imagine what it was like when they told you basically you can't get out of bed for like weeks. So like, do you draw on that? What do you reflect on that when you think about that time?
Yeah. Every time I think about it, I just kind of the thing that pops into my mind is it was fucked up. So, but I've unfortunately been through it before in a different capacity. But we have such an opportunity in front of us. Like, I'm not even really focused on that. I'm focused on this opportunity we have, and it's such a blessing. It's if anybody can say it's not guaranteed, it's me. And just understanding that anything can happen. So you just got to go out there and give it your all leading up to it, give it your all in the games, and really just kind of enjoy it, because it's not guaranteed.
What do you do when you can't even like get out of bed? Do you binge watch like Ted Lasso or basketball games or read, or what do you do?
No, you wake up, you do what you can, which isn't a lot, you can eat right. And, you know, when I was in that headspace, I didn't really feel like watching basketball. So I'd kind of wake up, you know, go on my phone, eat, and then I would take a super long nap, and then I'd wake up and do that again, and then I'd go back to sleep. And I had to do that until I could walk. So it was brutal. Brutal.
Like I say, you guys have gotten used to this long layoff, but does this actually help you because you did a pretty big thing, you won the West, you have time to absorb that, but now also time to maybe move on to the bigger task?
Yeah, obviously that's a challenge in the sport. You know, obviously you want to be in the moment, be where your feet are, and when you win, that's a special thing. It's, you know, it's not guaranteed in this league. If everybody was guaranteed to win, you know, it'd be a participation trophy instead of a Larry O'Brien, you know. So you have to kind of take it in and understand what you've accomplished to that point. But then kind of the next day you have to start turning the page, you know, get rid of the emotions and start focusing on preparation and what you have to do to, you know, conquer the next step. And that's where we're at.
And also, I mean, how much does it help? Does it help at all you played either one of these teams, Knicks or Pacers, considering you only played them twice, and the playoffs are different? So do you even draw on what you did in the regular season against them, or is it totally a blank slate?
I mean, you have to draw on everything you've done up to this point, not only playing against them in the regular season, but we looked at the regular season as an opportunity to build ourselves into who we needed to be to have a good chance no matter who we play. So less so looking back on what we've done and more so looking forward to what we have to do and understanding that all that work that we did before kind of prepared us for that. So that's the way we're looking at it. And we just have to be prepared and ready to play no matter who's in front of us.
Can you talk about just the kind of vibe or excitement that the team gets when the Thunder fans kind of get into the game, and, you know, especially during those down moments, and they feel like they're trying to push the team along? How does that feel for you?
It feels amazing. It's like having a sixth player out there sometimes almost. The only time it hurts is when you're trying to, like, communicate, and, like, everybody understands, like, you know, you never want to see one of your teammates get blindsided by a screen or something, but when we get to the timeouts, we're talking, we're like, I'm trying to talk to you, but it's loud, and they understand, and, you know, that's the only disadvantage, I'd say, but the other team has to deal with that, too, and on top of that, you know, they're cheering for us, and they're cheering against the other team, so it's like, it's a great advantage to have, and we have the best fans in the world. I can't think of any sport, any arena, any team that has better fans than we do. So we appreciate them, and you know, I look forward to the atmosphere going forward.
Is there a game that stands out the most that maybe has been the loudest for you that you had to look up and go, hey, what's really happening here?
I'd probably say game 2 against the Wolves, when we kind of had a couple runs there in the third quarter. It was definite in there. Yeah.
Chet, you said around the time that you were bedridden that you didn't feel like watching basketball. Why is that? Did you? I mean, I can only assume that you feel like the game sort of like betrayed you almost. Like why didn't you want to watch basketball?
No. I don't know. Just kind of in my headspace. Like, I wouldn't say watching basketball. I'd say like watching games live necessarily. You know what I mean? I had to like kind of take a step back. Just for a couple weeks there. But like I was still on YouTube watching like hoops mixtapes and just watching like whatever I felt like searching up at the time, you know, pull-ups and this and that. But yeah, live games I had to take a step back for a couple weeks.
Yes. And you've mentioned the old Thunder teams before, like as part of your childhood, like resurfacing in this past week or so, like what comes to mind in terms of your viewership growing up of those teams?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely a surreal feeling. Again, like with the opportunity we have in front of us, I'm trying not to think about too much outside of what we need to do to prepare to be ready to play and everything. But it's hard not to kind of think back to, when I was a kid and I was just starting in AAU. I was in, late elementary school, and, all the kids on the team, all the kids on other teams were on the OKC bandwagon back then. It was like youth's bandwagon or something. Like all the kids were just rocking with them, and they were an electric team. They were fun to watch, and they had players that we all kind of looked up to, and to kind of fast forward and then have this opportunity, it's definitely special. So there's definitely no taking it for granted.
Just follow up. I know a couple of those guys from that team are in the building, but like, have any of the other guys like sort of reached out to you over the past few days, anything like that?
I'd say my private conversations are my private conversations.
Chet, you had talked about the value of having this week and trying to take advantage of it as best as you guys can. What for these last two games or last 2 days in particular, just how valuable has the rest been for you guys after 16 playoff games so far?
Man, I can't speak for anybody else, but I've been taking full advantage of recovery mode, so it's been big. Yeah.
Postseason-wise, you got to jump through a lot of hurdles. Is there one particular game that kind of stands out for this team to jump over? Was it Game 4 in Denver, maybe Game 7 against Denver, maybe Game 4 in Minneapolis? What was like the one game that kind of got you over the hump?
I wouldn't say it was one game. I think you mentioned a couple good ones. Game 7 against Denver, Game 4 against Minnesota. Game 7's obviously a win or go home. You don't win that. We're talking about what we got to get better for the summer and, making plans for that. So that's a big game. I feel like we responded really well for that game and played really well. And then Game 4 in Minnesota, obviously it changes the whole series to be up 3-1 versus 2-2 and, on the road, responding from a bad game the game before. So, and I'd say the fashion we won into, that was an electric game that was going back and forth, down the stretch. People making big plays on both ends, and it was really important for us to kind of be able to do that, and kind of see what we can be in those moments, and this year or going forward, we're going to be in situations like that again. So knowing that we can do it and knowing how to do it is very important for us. So I'd say that's a big game.
And that's a wrap for us today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.